Hello, everybody, and welcome back. This is that time again. It's a Monday evening, and it's tier 1 racing in UFRL that we are about to do. One of them interesting races this season is a no hard tire competition around Qatar, which is quite interesting to say. We'll see how these drivers do. When anyone decides to just go for the one stop, which would be quite a kerfuffle because it's very difficult to get the mediums to take them as long as possible because you definitely do not want to start on the soft if you're going for the one stop and no hard tire race. Because when those softs die out early, you're gonna have to go to the mediums that will die out so bad when it gets to the end of the race. But you can do a medium tire start and burn them out as much as you can to get the softs at the end where your car is lighter, the track has been rubbered down. Use softs as strong as you can. But definitely the two stop is gonna be the ideal strategy in this one today. Who's gonna be the first to come out in qualify is the question. As last week we got Bad Boy crossing the line to win, but because of the penalty that he got for being side by side with Bolt when the safety car did resume, he did lose that win and it became Pesci as your race winner here. Last week, Parkour, her first podium of the season, getting a P2. Very strong drive from her. She'll be looking for another one today. The two reserves for the Haas team, who have been doing a great job as reserves for this team since the start of the season. Happy birthday to Woody. That's telling everyone it is the old man's birthday today. Old man Woody gets another year of life as he got his first race win last week. Early birthday celebrations for him for sure. And we'll see if he can get another good result here in tier 1. As a reserve, no one is expecting you to get a good result, but he definitely will be looking for that. As Angry Badger is another reserve for Ferrari. As him and Arias will try to get as much points as they can for their team. He will be the first to come out. We've always known Angry Badger to come out and call you very quickly. And he does it here once again. Declan, who DNF'd at the start of the last race because of disconnection issues, actually got pole position out in Brazil. I was looking like one of the ones that was going to fight for the race win. A very unfortunate disconnect for him. Saw him drop out of the race before they could even get to turn 1. But he definitely will be coming for revenge this time around. As Pesci is dominating the championship now, Declan is in a position where he has nothing to lose. And will be absolutely going at it against our championship leader and soon to be our 2-time champion of Tier 1 UFRL. We have a few champions on the grid. Hazer, Pesci, and Mr. P. All previous Tier 1 champions, but Pesci looking like he's going to be the first to get his hands on the title twice in UFRL. And we know he's still going to be here next season, so he definitely will be going for another one to make it a 3-time champion here in this league. But Angry Brother out there on the mediums, interesting call from him. Maybe he's just out there trying to put as much laps as possible. But he definitely knows he's not going to get a time quick enough to beat anyone. Any of these tier 1 drivers that will be on soft tires. So he might just have been out there to fill up the car with fuel. Do as much practice as he can before the start of the race. So I just got some notifications. Hopefully it's not for me. Doesn't look like it's for me. Yeah, it's not. So Williams moving out of the way for the Ferrari there. It's going to be the first driver to complete a lap. It's going to be Viking Fox, who's just beginning a lap. So it's going to be Angry Badger in the Ferrari on the mediums, who have invalidated right now, actually. So at the end of this lap, his time wouldn't be set on the board. He has the championship leader of Pesci behind him on an out lap. Pole position will be a very interesting one here today. But what really matters in a no hard tire race is strategy. When you go in, if the safety car comes out, so many factors can change the decision of your race. But here we go. Championship leader will be beginning his lap. He is confident that he's going to get pole position here today. And we'll see if he's going to do that. Declan beat him to it last time around at Brazil. As Rusted Bolt will be beginning his own lap. The other Ferrari of Arise right behind him also on an out lap. Same for Hazer, who's actually completing his lap. We'll see what time the other Williams can get. It's going to be a 1:21.6 for Hazer, the man P2 in the championship. He's actually doing a good job in the championship. You can't write him out. P2 in the championship is a very, very good place to be. He has the formidable Pesci just in front of him. His teammates, as the Williams team, are absolutely cooking this season when it comes to constructors. They know they have to because they still have that percentage minus that they're going to have to get on their points at the end of the season for overspending. I mean, it looks like overspending has helped them so far because in every tier they have championship contenders. Pesci in tier 1 is looking like he's going to win it. Warner in tier 2, who still has the likes of Viking fighting with him, and they will definitely be going to the end. And we have Bakey in tier 3, who currently should be our championship leader in that tier, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe very close. He should be our championship leader in that tier. So they have 3 championship leaders actually in Williams. Especially gets a 120.9, about 7/10 quicker than his teammate. 122.6 for Viking Fox and 123 for Angry Badger. His teammates arrives with Cost the Line 9 with 121.9, 3/10 behind Hazer. The Alpine was next to begin his lap. As we head to Rusted Bolt, he validated on his own lap and he'll be starting a new one here. Let's head up to the Williams of Hazer, who's going to begin another lap here. Also already set a 121.6 here in quali. Now we'll be going for his second push lap on the same tires, looking to use those tires as much as possible, and he will see if he can improve on them. Declan out of the session. I did not even see that. Declan is now out of the session. Is that engine penalty? Not too sure, because as you can see, his car is in the pit lane. He hasn't DNF, he hasn't run into the wall or anything. His car is in the pit lane, so that just might be an engine pen for the Kick Sauber, who got pole position last week, but we don't have the opportunity to get it this week, as old man Woody, the birthday boy, out there on his own lap. And we'll see exactly what he can get. The 2 Mercedes next across the line. Mr. P splitting the Williams of Hazer and Pesci, as Merck will go P5 with a 122.1. Good times from them as they put themselves in the top 5. Parkour behind them will cross the line to begin her first lap. The driver who got her first podium last week at Brazil, we're looking for a good one here. Scandal for the 122.3. Another reserve driver doing well for his team. Rusted Bolt pushing down the Mercedes, going up to P2, 121.4. Not bad from him. I see it was another driver who was close to the podium last week, but just fell short, getting a P4 in a race that he did quite well under a lot of pressure in Brazil and did not fall to it. A good result for him, and we're looking for even better one here at Qatar, which is surely going to be a very, very exciting way. We're coming out of the pits right now. We're going to head down to the Haas of Woody, the birthday boy, coming out of the corner. And when he does cross the line, it's going to be P6, gets ahead of the Mercedes of Merck with a 122.0. Not a bad time from him there. And 120 is definitely will be the time that you need to get if you want that pole position here today, as the 2 Mercedes of Mr. P and Merck should be going into the pits, as Merck is moving out the way for the Red Bull there. Is he starting his lap there? He should be going to the pits. Mr. P is going to the pits, and Merck will definitely be following suit. Behind him, he has the Visa of Rusted Bolt, has done his lap. The only visa have been on track today as boy knockout has been shown up to reserve for his team. I believe he's not allowed to because of the amount of penalty points he has racked up. Same thing for ALC Mickey. He also isn't allowed to because of the penalty points that he has racked up. So no more reserving for them till a few races. Maybe they'll be able to get the reserve in the final race. No, actually, you can't reserve in the final race. Maybe they'll be able to reserve next week. That's still what we'll be watching then. But we will see about that. Heading to the back now, we see both horses working together here as Woody going into the pits, and Viking will begin his push lap. He's already on a 1:22.6. We'll be looking to improve on that time. He believes he can get a quicker time than that. One of the championship contenders in Tier 2. We do expect him to be one of the quickest reserves here in Qatar. The pole is different. The pole position quality is way different from race conditions, and some people thrive in race conditions. And he, Viking, is one of them. He's not really known for getting the pole positions week in, week out, but he is known for getting those good results in the races. As Gandalf just finished a lap there, 1:22.0 for him, goes in front of the Mercedes of Merck. Very, very close times between Gandalf and Woody there. Winners is in chat. Tier 2 turning up for Tier 1 tonight. Yeah, there's a lot of Tier 2s here. What's on end though? Of no hard tire hards at Qatar, yeah. No hard tires Qatar is very interesting. We'll see though. Hopefully it brings a very, very exciting race. Oh, Declan just said as the game retired me. So yeah, he wasn't actually on an engine pen. The game has just retired him after disconnecting. Hopefully he can race today, because last time around he did get pole position and was thrown out of the session just because of the disconnection. He was retired from the session. But that's very interesting to see, because I was disconnected back in Singapore for a 100% race, but I was not forced to DNF. So I wonder why some drivers are forced to DNF when they've been kicked out of the session, as Paco will be beginning a lap. Behind her, she has the Williams of Pesci, who is trying to improve on that time, trying to seal his pole position here today. Alpine will be going into the pits, and the Ferrari of Angry Badger, who is now finally out there on the soft tires, will definitely improve on his time. But where can he go when he does cross the line? Up to P9 with a 1:22.2, quicker than Viking Fox. He's not currently improving on his time. 9/10 down on his quickest time, and definitely will be going to the pits at the end of this one. The other Alpine of Destroyer Jack coming out to the final corner for his first lap here in quali goes up to P5, a strong time for him, 1:21.7. Destroyer Jack does have that pace, but still looking for that strong race here in Tier 1. A lot of retirements in the pits for him this season due to pure frustration or very, very unlucky situations in the race. But this time around, can he get that race that he's looking for? Parkour already improving on her quickest sector there. It looks like she might have bailed out of the few laps that she did earlier. And here we go now, last few corners to go, and the final right-hander as we head to the straight. What can the Red Bull of Paco get? Almost going wide there and violating her time, but she's not going to. She's going to cross the line and head up to P9 in front of the Mercedes of Merck with a 1:22.1. The Mercedes of Merck out there pushing on his lap, so almost 2/10 up on the current lap that he sits on. A few corners to go. The fast left-hander, you want to go flat out there, down to 5th gear as we head now here, down to 4th or 5th, depending on how strong you feel you are. 4th gear for Merck as he's diving into the pits. He bailed out on his lap. He might not have been improving as he was coming to the final corner there, and it's still going to be P10 for the Mercedes of Merck, as we have the Alpine of Destroyer Drag, who is currently sitting in a position that he definitely would be proud of to be in. He will try to improve because Hazer and Mr. P are just 1/10 and 2/10 ahead of him. So I will not be too much for Destroyer Drag unless he believes the time that he just set is his limit, is his peak, with 5 minutes here to go in qualifying. Who can take that pole position from Pesci? Doesn't look like anyone can do. but they'll all still be looking to improve their current times. As they're all into the pits now. Because the only one still out there, but she definitely will be headed into the pits right now. Rusted Bolt, the first driver to come out on an outlap to begin his final lap of the session. This will be his last opportunity to try and improve by about 5/10 if he wants to get pole position here today, which will be very difficult on a track like Qatar. Where are you going to get those 5/10? Considering most of the laps, most of the corners are flat out, and where you can actually get 5/10 are the corners the slower corners. But does Rusted Bolt feel that he's done all he can do in those slower corners and try to improve in the faster corners, or vice versa? But here we go now. Rusted Bolt on his final lap of the session will be pushing. I'm just going to watch him now because he's the only one on track. Gandalf is on an out lap, so he's on an lap now. So let's just stick with Rusted Bolt in the Visa RB that have been in and around there this season with the constructors, but they've had a late fall off due to unforeseen circumstances, losing one of their top drivers, the Bird, earlier this season, as he almost invalidates their quicker on his first sector by 300ths of a second. He will need to improve in that corner there, and this one here, this is where you want to gain most of your times, because corners like this are just fast corners which are very, very difficult to improve. As here is another corner and you can try to left-hander, misses the apex, loses the back end, and that will be the end of that lap. He might be able to reach out to go for one more, but it looks like he was pushing very hard to improve, and pushing he did to almost send his car for a pirouette, a half pirouette I would say, for the Visa RB of Rusted Bolt. But he definitely will be going again, as everybody now coming out for their outlaps now, and we're going for the finals. Reduce game volume. Is game volume that high? Or maybe it's just coming to my... One sec. It's game volume that I haven't really changed it. So I've always been doing it like this anyway, so... Yeah, game volume is really low. Like really, really low. Maybe it's my headset like bouncing on, because my headset is quite loud. So I'll just reduce that to see if it's better for you. But the game volume is really low. But yeah, they're all out on outlaps now, and the Williams of Hazer will be the first after Rusted Bolt did have to go for another one. We'll see if he is improving. He's improving now better this time around. 9/10, almost a 10 up on his best lap, and this time around he's gonna have to make sure that he doesn't make that mistake, as all of them will be on outlaps now and will be beginning their lap, so we can still stick with Rusted Bolt here. Then we'll head down to Hazer, who was the next driver to begin the lap. Actually, Gandalf was the next driver to begin the lap. Where's the Alpine? Okay, he's right behind Rusted Bolt. He's not on the lap. Viva on the lap to two Mercedes. So Viva on outlap means two Mercedes on outlap, and Parkour all on outlaps in front of Rusted Bolt. So let's stick with the Visa out of B, who's looking like he's improving, coming out of the final corner, making sure not to invalidate. Nice one there as he climbs the curb a little bit and he crosses the line. Does improve his time slightly, but it wouldn't definitely not be enough to beat that pole position time. Gandalf with a 122.0. Doesn't look like he did improve on his time, but he'll be going for another push here, I believe, as they are all now on their current laps. Woody and Viking Fox working together there. Woody trying to give Viking Fox that slipstream, and we'll see how much of an improvement Viking can get. Woody's already up to P7, which is a very good time for him, as Pesci on and out lap now will begin his lap. Behind him, Mercedes of Mr. P, and behind him the Alpine of Destroyer Jack. And here we go now, first to Hazer, crossing the line, doesn't improve, actually improves on his time by 2/10, still in P3, gets in front of the Mercedes of Mr. P. 121.4 for Hazer, and that will be the end of his quali. 121.6 for the Ferrari of Arise. Next is going to be the McLaren of Wizard Rex. Doesn't improve on his place, does improve on his time. Will stay down in P13 as quali is over for him. The Aston Martin of Viva, who hasn't set a lap yet, so he will need to make sure that this one is a lap that he sets, crossing the start finish line now. The Aston Martin, will he go up to the top 10? No, he will not, just ahead of Wizard Rex in P13. The Mercedes of Merck improving better this time around, 3/10 of an improvement, heads up to P7. Behind him, Parkour was also on the lap, but she did not get much of an improvement as she stays in P10. As we have, who just crossed the line now, the two horses of Woody going up to P5, the birthday boy. Very strong lap from him there after his last week race win last week. The confidence is soothing through the heart of Woody as his teammate also improves and goes up to P9. Pesci, provisional pole position, improves his time by 2/10, and that definitely will be the end of the pole position fight. Nobody else can beat that time. Mr. P does not improve. Destroyer Jack is going to beat him, go up to P4 with a 121.4. And that is that for qualifying. Hazer finishing P3. I don't believe he's currently on a lap. So yeah, he's not currently on a lap. He will be going into the pits. And that is your grade for qualifying. Pesci, pole position once again this season. With the amount of pole positions he's gotten this season, if there was still pole position points, he will be a few more points ahead of the rest of the drivers. He doesn't even need those points to see how dominant he has been. The only driver in 200 and something points in tier 1 as his teammate, just 1 point shy of that with the 199. But there you go. That's the end of qualifying. Pesci will sit at the top of the grid and he will share that row with Rusted Bolt, who did a very good lap there. I'll give it to him. They will both start in the front row of this race. No hard tires in Qatar as we resume in 5 minutes. Invalidated by slender margin, got a 121.4, choked. A 121.4 would have seen you in that top 4. That's very, very unlucky. 402. Oof, that would have only seen you in top 3 ahead of Hazer. Absolutely choked it, but it's okay. Last time you didn't have the best qualifying in Brazil and still finished on the podium. Here you go again, P11. We'll see how much of a recovery Parkour can do. But like I said, we'll be back in 5 minutes to begin racing here for no hard tires at Qatar, which is definitely going to be an exciting one. One I love to watch, and one hopefully you all will love to watch. And we will be back. I just want to make sure that I have everyone in the race. Yeah, who's Steve Cope? I'm just gonna accept that because he might be one of you, so I don't want to put you in a position. Yeah, so I have Declan. I do have Declan as a friend. So I have Destroyer Jack, I have Gandalf, I have Viva, I have Merc, Parkour, Viking Fox, Woody, Pesci. So if any of you did get kicked out, I can invite you back into the server. I have Coffee, who's gone now. Who else? Debs Panther, who's not gonna be here. Warner has been an interesting one. If Hazer and Pesci are they're just too consistent. They're always going to race, so it's very difficult to actually get Warner to see how Warner would do in tier 1. It's very difficult to see how Warner would do in tier 1. So I would like to actually see him racing tier one day to see how strong he truly is. Because there has been talk about moving him out of tier two, but at this point of the season, it is too late because he's in a championship fight, and that will absolutely be stitching him. He has been strong in tier two, but I won't say he's been unbeatable. He was beatable. He did get beat. Didn't win the last race. Also, the one in Australia. He did win one before that, um, which was that one again, which was Silverstone. So he does get the win here and there, and sometimes falls off that win. So he is strong enough to be in front, but maybe not too strong that he has to be removed from the tier. But the championship leader Warrior now will definitely be showing next tomorrow for our next race in. Um, we're at tier two going tomorrow. I'm not too sure. I actually haven't checked that. Actually, Jeddah, yes, Jeddah. Interesting one at Jeddah. We'll have Viva on the comms. You have to be very careful when it comes to Jeddah, especially that turn for that left-hander, which has taken a lot of victims in the previous years, both in real Formula One and in league racing all around the world. So that is a corner that is definitely going to be in the minds of a lot of drivers tomorrow. But you're still going to have to push as hard as you can if you want a good result. You can't be worrying too much about the corners and about DNFing. You're going to need that confidence. Confidence is all that matters to be able to put your foot flat to the floor and push that car as much as you can. Definitely. I see, Declan, your rage quit your me. I love seeing the trash talking chat from Hazel and Declan. Keep on doing it, boys. It makes even better racing. But please race as hard as possible, but do not take anybody out. We do not want to see that, but we definitely want to see tough racing between these drivers. If you look into the Daniel Ricciardo's look into Daniel Ricciardo's pit box. Daniel Ricciardo's garage. You can see his engine. He's one of his pit stop guys, just sitting there and missing boy knockouts. He's not gonna have anything to do this race. He's just gonna sit down there and watch the race. As he doesn't have boy knockouts, and Daniel Ricciardo also is not gonna show up, obviously. Remember, don't go, you go retire. He's Hazer, don't you go retire. As it's going to be 1 light, 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights ahead of the drivers. Qatar, no hard tires here. One and his foot to the floor and go. Pesci is going to keep his position with a good start there, but then Williams is going to put pressure on Rosted Bolt. Tries it round the outside. Hazer starting on those soft tires. Actually, let me put the tires on because that is very important on this one. Lots of them going for mixed strategies here. Half of the grid on soft, half on medium tires. And we'll see exactly how this is going to go for Mr. P in P5. Destroyer Drag keeping his pace in P4 as Arise Parkour now gets in ahead of Gandalf round the outside of that corner, and Declan is going to follow suit, trying to take the place from the Alpine. A lot happening there as the Alpine now has dropped. Arise and Woody going side by side. Can Woody keep his place from the Ferrari, who try around the outside on those medium tires? Doesn't have as much grip as the softs of Woody, the softs that he definitely will want to use to start to get ahead of the mediums runner in front of him. Mr. P is the first medium runner in front of him, the only medium runner in front of him. So Woody will definitely be thinking of that overtake as Declan has cleared Parkour up to P12, which he unfortunately couldn't take part in qualifying, and he will now have to claw back up in this race. Heading to the front, Merck now very close to the Ferrari of Arise as Angry Badger now putting pressure on Viking Fox, one of his teammates, coming out of the final corner now. Declan will try down the inside of the Aston Martin. I will get past the Aston Martin up to P11 already. So many overtakes made by Declan. He's not wasting time whatsoever as Viva will not look to make that move. He knows Declan has the pace to keep them with the pack in front. So it's pointless making that move early in this race as Destroyer Drag now already losing time to the drivers in front. Drivers behind him definitely will not be happy with what they are seeing here because they want to keep that DRS to the 3 drivers in front who are very, very strong and will start to easily run away with it if no moves are being made early enough in this one, as Woody right behind Mr. P will not be going for the move. He does have those soft tires that he will need to start going for a move with, as Declan has been overtaken by Viva on the inside to the right hander. Now Viva will get past him. Arise will try it around the outside of Woody. They're still going side by side to the fast right hander, and Declan has taken that place. Once again, Parkour down the inside of Viva there, as they are now side by side. No contact made between the two, as Parkour took the opportunity of Viva being compromised, fighting with Declan there to get past the Aston Martin, as the Red Bull of Parkour has now made an overtake and will try to follow Declan through, as he now gets past Angry Badger, who goes off track there and up to P10, up to the top 10 for Declan. His next target now is going to be Viking Fox in the Haas. Declan making places, boom, 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 very quick from him there, as Mr. P now will clear Destroyer Jack. He will need to as soon as possible. Woody will also follow suit, as two drivers now have cleared the Alpine. Merck will also get past the Ferrari of Arise up to P7 for the Mercedes here, as Mr. P now will now try to use his pace to catch up to the top 3 in front, but it looks like he's in a very precarious situation. Declan, another overtake from him, is wasting no time whatsoever. Like I said before, absolutely gunning it here at the start of this race, as Destroyer Drag now is going to be put back into the pack. He was leading the pack but losing too much time to the drivers in front. Mr. P will try to catch up to them, but it will be a very difficult one. He does have those medium tires, so medium tires that will start to show up better very soon in a few laps, and maybe he can use that opportunity to get past, to get close to the drivers in front, but that will be very, very difficult, as they will be DRSing themselves to keep themselves away from the pack. Parkour now getting past Angry Badger on the outside. Angry Badger doesn't make it too difficult for the Red Bull of Parkour. He's now up to P11 to try to make up more places here, as Viking Fox will be her next target. He now has lost the DRS to the drivers in front, so he will be a sitting duck for the Red Bull of Parkour, as Arise now looking to the inside of the Mercedes. Doesn't get the inside, but he will have that DRS as he head down into the Mercedes with lots of straight line speed. We're able to keep that Ferrari away, as Rusted Bull gets on the inside of the Williams. Parkour has now overtaken Viking Fox. So Ferrari of Angry Badger also looking for it and going for it. And will he get it as they go side by side? First turn 1, turn 2, and now to turn 3. Round the outside he goes. Angry Badger completes the move on the Haas of Viking Fox. A great move from Angry Badger, and he's showing a lot of pace after a very good race in Tier 2 last week, after he got his first podium in UFRL. Confidence is shining through. That's exactly what you need. You need the first podium, the first win, one of them, to give you that confidence, to show you that you can actually get those strong positions, those good results when it comes to racing. Look at Woody now. After his first win last week, he's absolutely cooking here with P5 in this race, right behind Mr. P, who has lost a little bit more time to the drivers in front. That start of the race where Destroyer Drag didn't have the pace to keep up to the drivers in front, definitely showing now. But Declan will have to clear 4 drivers for him to be the lead of this pack, but maybe that's exactly what this pack needs. Declan looks like he might be the only driver who will be able to lead this pack, to be able to get them able to catch the drivers in front, as on the inside of the Mercedes. He's going to complete that move. The Mercedes wouldn't make it too hard. He does have the DRS to defend from Arise behind, who's not going to go for it. The Alpine gets past the Haas of Woody, and up to P4 he goes. Destroyer Jack, as they will be working together here now to try to catch up to the pack in front. But Declan now up to P6 already. What a drive that he's showcasing on lap 5 of this race. He has 3 more drivers now to clear to begin to lead this pack. That's exactly what they will need there, as Woody makes it easy for his son. Declan will slide through there. Woody is also going to move aside for 1, 2, 3 drivers. Parkour is also getting through, I believe. Moving aside for his son. Declan might have compromised him a little bit, but he's still in this pack. That's all that matters to me. All these drivers are in the same position. When you're in a pack like this, you're all in the same position, unless you're fighting for the same position. Destroyer Drag will be behind Mr. P. Declan though very close to the Alpine now, and he has to clear the Alpine, then the Mercedes, to be leading this pack. It's going to be very interesting to see. All I want to see right now is Declan leading this one, to see how much he can reel in the drivers who took the momentum at the start to get away from the rest of the pack. Rusted both Rusted both Pesci and Hazer, as Hazer already gone into the pits. Interesting. Did he get damage? Or just an early stop for him? Pesci also going into the pits now. We see exactly where Hazer does come out when Pesci does come out, where Hazer will be, but they have decided to trigger the pit stops now onto the mediums for both Williams cars, as Viva now has cleared Viking Fox up to P10, who will go and will try to reel in Angry Badger and the rest of the pack in front. Declan now right behind Mr. P. This is exactly what they will need here. Declan will be going into the pits for the medium tires very soon, but as you can see, still has more pace than the Mercedes in front, and that is exactly what he would do. He will try to get past the Mercedes and pull them closer to the drivers in front. He's showing the pace that he has. He wants to win this race. He wants to be on the podium. Something from Declan, as he's been very unlucky in the last two races, getting the DNF right at the start and also not being able to take part in qualifying for this one. But as you can see, he does have the pace to start in front, and he's using that pace to get back in front. The Mercedes of Mr. P, he's going to be his next obstacle. He will not have that DRS to defend from the kick-sauber of Declan behind. So this is surely going to be an easy move for the Mercedes. Angry Badger still can't keep up to the pack. So Viva is in a position to reel in the Ferrari, and that's exactly what he would do, as the two Williams still together here, 7-8 tenths away from his teammate in front, and he wants to keep up to his teammate. Rusted Bolt, the next driver, to go into the pits. Mr. P decides to stay out. Declan decides to stay out, and here we go now. Declan is going to be pushing. Maybe this will be the final lap for him on those soft tires, because he's thinking about joining the front three in this race. Viking Fox and Angry Badger also going into the pits. Early stop for Angry Badger, because he did he just went on the mediums. I thought he did start on the mediums and he was going to change that. That would not have been the best strategy there, but Rusted Boat doing a good job here to stay with the top two that he was with, and with the fresher tires, 1 lap fresher than Pesci's and 2 laps fresher than Hazer, might be able to keep up with them and keep in that DRS, as Gandalf right behind Viva now, and Wizard Rex. They will work together now to try and get past Angry Badger. He was ahead of them, but he's gone in for his first pit stop of this race. Anybody going for the long one here, for the mediums for a very long time? Probably not. Probably wouldn't be the best strategy to be on right now. Mr. P doing a good job to stay close to Declan in that DRS. Destroyer Jack slightly falling out, and he's going to very soon be under pressure from the other Mercedes behind, who has that DRS on Destroyer Drag in front. And here we go, he will set up the move, trying to take that apex to get the best entry and the best exit. Declan going into the pits there, and there you go, he does have the DRS, activates his ERS, arises behind him, but he wouldn't be going for a move, as the Mercedes will be gaining on the Alpine, taking to the inside, and up to P2 he goes. The two Mercedes now can work together here to help themselves defend from the other drivers behind, but a good move from him, as Wizard Rex will get past Viva up to P7. Gandalf will also get past Viva, but Viva on those old softer tires is going to be looking to take them as long as possible. The question is, will Viva be one of the ones going for the one stop here today, maybe taking the soft tires to lap 10? But you can't really, can you take the medium tires to lap 19? Not too sure if they will be dying very hard there, but we'll see when Viva decides to go into the pit, as Merck now will try to reel in his teammates, who can't really slow down for him when you're 2 seconds ahead. You can't really be thinking about slowing down for your teammate to get that DRS when you're in your own separate race. So Merck will be a sitting duck when it comes to the Alpine behind, but he does have the pace to pull away from Destroyer Drag, who is on those old soft tires, and will start to struggle to keep the drivers in front. Rusted Boat now has gotten back to the top 2, and he will be in that DRS. Their fight for the win will continue here. I know Hazer, Pesci's teammate, is not looking to just sit around meekly and play number 2 to Pesci in front. He wants the race win. He knows how far Pesci is in the Drivers' Championship, so that race win will be more of bragging rights rather than a championship fight, because Pesci is about, I think Pesci is about 70 points away from his teammate, so it's very difficult for his teammate to catch him with 3 rounds to go and 2 rounds to go after this one. Round 10, we're also going to have round 11 and 12 destroyer drag, losing even more time. Viva staying out and slowly starting to fall out of the DRS of the drivers in front. He will push very hard to keep close to them now, but that will be quite difficult as those soft tires are falling off really hard now. But what strategy would they be going for? Are they going to go for the one stop, the mediums to the end when they go into the pits here? That is my question, as Parkour still right behind the Mercedes of Merck. Can these two work together to catch up to Mr. P in front? When will the medium tires start to go in for their pit stop? Is our question. Just 4 seconds now that Pesci is behind Viva. And this is an interesting one. Viva can keep going. Think about it. Viva can just keep going. Wait for Pesci and the likes of them to catch him. Stay in their DRS as much as he can. Then maybe on lap 12 go for those medium tires and go straight to the end of this race. It's a very interesting strategy that he can go for. But strategy but that just might work as he flies out of the way for Pesci and the rest. He's not trying to make it too hard for the front runners, as he's just going to move out the way for them, and looks like he might be coming to the pits on this one. Parkour getting past the Mercedes of Merck, and does she have the pace to reel in Mr. P? Merck didn't have it, and he's going to try and use Parkour to do so. Viva speeding into the pit lane, 10-second penalty for him. Speeding into the pit lane for Viva. Is that going to be the end of his race? I don't believe so. I don't believe he's retiring. 3-second penalty now for Arise, as the penalties are starting to come in. We're going to watch Parkour now if she does have the pace to catch up to Mr. P in front. 1.9 seconds, as you can see. Cut up a little bit there. Merck will try his best to stay close to her. Use that DRS to follow her to try to catch up to his teammate. Arise does have that 3-second penalty now that will be looming on his head. We have Destroyer Drag still out there on those old soft tires. It looks like they will be going for the one-stop strategy. 3-second penalty for Hazer here, and that definitely will be the end of his chances to get a race win. How difficult would it be for him to pull away 3 seconds to the drivers in front? As you can see, already now out of that DRS, and Hazer will be pushing hard to get back to them, which will be a very difficult one. Declan though, as you can see, fresher tires than the drivers in front, 7 seconds behind them. He definitely will be pushing hard to slightly cut the time to them. Then when he does go into the pits one more time, he might have enough pace to fully catch up to them, as Wizard Reg now into the pits. It's another 10-second penalty. The second driver speeding into the pit lane. There's been a lot of speeding into the pit lane, honestly, this season. A lot of drivers have been doing it. Myself and Viking did do it in 100%. It's just a consistent. It's just something that happens occasionally in this league, and that's looking like the pit stops are getting a little bit harder on this game. Maybe sometimes it looks like you're actually going really slow into the pit, and it just gives you that 10-second penalty, which most times is a massive surprise. As Viva coming out now, he's now down in P15, quite far from Wizard Rex in front, who he was racing with earlier now today. But we'll see if he does go for the one-stop strategy that Wizard Rex probably is not going to go for, because he's on those soft tires that definitely will not be going to the end. Destroyer Drag definitely will be going for that one-stop strategy. I don't think he's going for anything else, as his teammate now is clawing even closer to him, as Parkour and Merck still can't catch up to Mr. P in front, who's absolutely pushing now. And when will the medium tires start to go in now, as Mr. P will be sliding through? Will Merck be going in? Parkour is going to trigger it. Here you go. The mediums of Parkour will be going into the pits now. She decided to change her tires. With Wizard Rex was the first medium to go in, and he's down in P14. Parkour, the next one, who decides it is time to go for another set of mediums for Parkour. Interesting call from her. Safety cars are not a usual occasion here in Qatar, so this might be the proper strategy for Parkour. Try and extend those mediums as long as you can, then get the softs. Use the softs right at the end, as Swanky Badger right behind Woody will not be able to make the overtake on the Hans driver. But Mr. Rex on the inside of Viking Fox with the soft tires. Can he complete the move, as Viking Fox will make it difficult for him going around the outside, but Wizard Rex can't get it done, and up to P12 he goes. As we head back to the front now, the two Mercedes still out there on track, currently 1-2, and definitely we'll be hoping and praying for a safety car, which will absolutely put their races in a very, very good position here. But They will be thinking about their strategy. Parkour has come into the pit, and they will be thinking that they will need to go in now for Parkour not to get this very strong undercut on them, as Rusted Bolt still behind Pesci, still looking for his first win of the season, as Hazer now has fallen off from them, and his win is definitely now out of the question unless a safety car comes. Oh, and he can't recover him as he almost completely loses his back end and sends his cars for a pirouette, but he does catch it and he can't keep going. Gandalf into the pits, Mr. P and Arise into the pits. Merck will definitely be going into the pits at the end of this one. The Mercedes team have triggered it here. The first driver into the pits will be the Mercedes of Mr. P. Merck will be staying out on this one. But the question is now, what would these drivers do? Who is going for the one stop, as Viva is still out there on these mediums? A lot of drivers in front will still have to be thinking of the pit stop, and Destroyer Jack now has come into the pit. He will be going for the one stop, and we'll see where he will finish his race at the end of this one. Is the risky strategy to go for, but a strategy nonetheless that could work depending on how your race is going. As Merck now pushing 6 seconds in front. The question is now, he's got the best situation here would just to keep pushing and wait for the likes of Pesci and the rest behind to catch up to you. Another 3 second penalty now for Hazer. Wait for the likes of Pesci and the rest to catch up to you, and when they do so, you now go on to the soft tires that can do about 11-12 laps, as we've seen Destroyer Drag do them. So he will need to do about 6 more laps, the Mercedes of Merck. Maybe go on to lap 20, lap 19 before he now comes into the pits. But he decides now will be the time to come into the pits. So it's still going to be a 2-stop strategy for the Mercedes of Merck, who has now gone into the pits. Rusted Bolt, though, on the inside will finally take the lead of this race, looking for the win here. He's not going to give an inch to the championship leader and a Visa LB that have been looking for a win in UFRL for a while now after losing Bird. I have that momentum, have Rusted Bolt in the lead. Merck now will drop behind Parkour, drop behind Arise, but he will just get ahead of the McLaren of Wizard Rex on the fresh soft tires from Merck. He's going to go in one more time, maybe for another soft pair if he does have a fresh set of soft tires sitting in his garage. But I think he might just be going for the mediums. But here we go now. Destroyer Drag down in P13. Wouldn't be coming into the pits again in this race. Will be going straight to the end on those medium tires, as Parkour, as Angry Badger now going side by side. She takes that P7, trying to make up the places as quick as possible. She knows that she has Merck on those soft tires behind that will also slap up to make up the places. Next target is going to be Woody in the Haas for the Red Bull of Parkour. He doesn't have that DRS to Mr. P in front, who also went for the soft run as his teammate did so. And 14 laps into this race with 15 to go. When will be the next pit stops for especially the front runners of both Pesci and Hazer? Hazer, though, now 1.3 seconds in front of Declan, who is absolutely charging here, and he can now take the third place, the podium position in this race. His next target is just Hazer in front, 1:23.7 from Mr. P, the fastest lap currently, and we'll see if anybody else can beat that time. But Parkour now has cleared the Haas of Woody up to P6. The birthday boy still having a strong race here. We'll see what his next pit stop will do for him and his race, as Mr. Merck now has caught up back to Arise and will have that DRS to try and clear the Ferrari, try to catch his teammate, then Woody and Mr. Parkour, who are in front of them. But Parkour will be pushing very hard now to catch up to the Mercedes, who's on those soft tires that will be better for now than the mediums of the Red Bull behind. But very soon they will start to fall off, and she will get the opportunity to be right in the DRS, right behind the rear wing of that Mercedes of Mr. P. The driver standings is looking very interesting now. Pesci still leading this race, still in the Driver Championship, and if he does cross the line like this, he will be extending it. Once again, he looks like he will be extending it on everybody else. Rusted Bolt isn't in that championship fight, but he's in the race win fight here, definitely, as he now has that DRS and will be looking to complete that move. He's going to be gaining on me. We're going to head down to Destroyer Drag now. He's right behind Viking, but he couldn't complete the move there. Rusted Bolt not close enough to Pesci in front. He's going to stay behind Declan, though, close enough to Hazer, has now finally taken that podium position. Hayes are trying to take a little bit of slipstream there, but Declan up to P3 now. And does he have the pace to catch the drivers in front? He will try to do so, but that would be very difficult to catch Rusted Bolt and Pesci in front, as the Alpine of Destroyer Drag has now cleared the Haas of Viking Fox. Up to P12 he goes. The strategies are very interesting here. I don't even know who is going to come into the pits very soon. I know definitely Hazer is going to come into the pits. 11 laps that he's done on those medium tires. Same thing for Pesci. I don't know when they will start to trigger their pit stop. I don't know who is going for the one stop here. Arise on 3 laps he's done on those medium tires. Did he start on the softs is a question. I'm not too sure. Let's look into race director. Where they Arise that? Yeah, he did start on the medium, so he definitely has to go into the pits one more time. I want to see who's going to risk it. Who is going to go for that one stop strategy? Destroyer Drag is in the optimal position to do so, but he still has 13 laps to do on those medium tires. He did 13 on the soft, so why can't he do 17 on the mediums that he definitely would try to do so? Pesci has now lost the lead to Rusted Bolt. He takes it. They're just going to keep DRS switching there because they know that they do have Declan behind. They do not want him catching and having a chance of a race win there. The race win looks like it's going to be between those two as the Ferrari of Arise gets past his teammate. Will Merck also follow suit to make the overtake on Angry Badger? Oh, double overtake for the Mercedes on both Ferraris on the inside of Arise, who will try around the outside. Does he have the traction? Does he have the grip? Mr. Merck now has the outside line. Can he complete the move on the Ferrari? Slightly pushed off by Arise, but he will make the move. 3 drivers taken by the Mercedes in 2 corners, and what a move from Merck on those soft tires. Now he can now start to claw in parkour. Very, very beautiful racing between those drivers. Their elbows out as the Arise now will take the inside of Woody and take it up to P8 for his Ferrari. And beautiful racing there, exactly what we love to see, as Parkour still 1.8 seconds behind Mr. P. Our Tyres will soon get to the point where they are stronger than the Mercedes in front, and she can claw in Mr. P. The Merc has those soft tires and will be pushing hard now, as you can see, slightly gaining time on Parkour in front, but his tires will need to take as much advantage of it as possible. Hazer and Rusted Bolt and Pesci going into the pits on the same lap. Declan will fly through because he will be extending his medium run there. Declan, who is going to jump who here? Who has the faster pit stop? Nice one from the Visa RB team, who have done a strong pit stop there to make sure that the Williams don't get past them. Gandalf now with a 3-second penalty. A lot of them going into the pits, as Mr. P will be going into the pits for medium tires. And here we go now. The pit stops, the final pit stops of the race have begun to happen. Destroyer Drag now 1.3 seconds ahead of Rusted Bolt. This will be his opportunity. Does he have the pace to take these mediums all the way to the end? 11 laps that he has now. As you can see, he has that pressure of Rusted Bolt and Pesci behind. Like I said before, maybe his strategy can just to be get right behind these quick drivers behind you and push as much as you can with their DRS to make sure that when the likes of Mr. Poem and the rest that he was racing with do get up to him, they wouldn't be in the position to make that overtake, as Viva now still out on those old hard tire medium tires and might be going for a soft run later. He does have that 10-second penalty that he's sitting on, so he's going to have to think about that one in this race. But we're going to watch Destroyer Drag, who's looking like the only driver that will be going for the one-stop strategy. How would that work out for him? Arise now right behind the Mercedes of Merck. Will he be going for the move on the inside? No, because he knows the smarter move will be to use the DRS as they head down to turn 1. And here we go now. He will complete that move on the Merck easy as possible on the inside. Up to P2 he goes on the wheel. As you can see, right behind Pesci, trying to take that place from Russell, but they both take the place from the Alpine. That looks a little bit like Schumi and Hakkinen getting past the driver in Belgium, splitting the driver in the middle, as the Alpine will lose 2 places to those drivers. Now Hazer coming out right behind Mr. P, exactly what he will be looking for as they have their own championship fights to think about. P3 in the championship, right behind Hazer. Mr. P is, and he's in the perfect position to beat Hazer in this race because he does have that 3-second penalty that he's sitting on Hazer. So he will need to get past the Mercedes of Mr. P and pull away if he wants to get that P2 in the championship, which would be very, very respectable P2 for Mr. P in the Mercedes. It definitely has been consistent this season to keep fighting with the drivers in front. Hazer knows, and he's going to have that pressure on him, pressure that we'll see if he can withstand. Destroyer Drag out there now. He will have that DRS behind Rusted Bolt and Pesci, and will stick to them here with 9 laps to go in this one. His one-stop strategy just might be working to perfection. As you can see, the likes of Mr. Poem, Hazer, Declan, who were all ahead of him before the pit stops began, are still behind him, and they will need to catch up to Destroyer Drag in for his strategy here. But when he does start to fall out of that DRS, that is when he will be in a precarious position, not being able to defend from the drivers behind. His teammate, though, looks like he might also be going for the same strategy that Destroyer Drag is going for. Let's look at race directors to see what Gandalf done here. Gandalf started on the medium, so he definitely will be going to the pit one more time. But Destroyer Drag, the only driver going for that one-stop strategy. Declan now on his final pit stop, and he has the 3rd place on the podium secured here. All he has to do is keep his car straight and keep pushing at Mr. P. Still 1.5 seconds away from Hazer, who will be pushing to try and catch the Mercedes in front. But he knows that he's in a very good position to beat his championship contender here. Mr. P will be gaining about 2 points or maybe more on Hazer if they do finish in this order, but in obviously different positions in the race. As Merck now will be looking coming to the pits very soon. He's gone as long as he can on the softs, and there you go. The Mercedes will be flying into the pits for his pit stop, going quick there, but doesn't speed into the pit lane. Good one on him, as Pesci now has moved up to P3. They'll be very close to Arise and Parkour in front. Parkour has to start thinking about her pit stop now. She's going to go on the soft tires that she's going to have to take full advantage of as the Mercedes of Mr. P and Hazer will be getting past Mercer. Viva under pressure from the hands of Woody and Angry Badger. Woody will be tried down the inside, who will take it down the inside of the Aston Martin, who will hit the switchback on Woody but can't complete it. Does he have the grip round the outside as they head to turn 3? Can he complete that move? The Ferrari is joining this one here, but Woody in the house can't keep both of them inside. But Viva has the inside as they head to the right hander. Viva completes the move. More side-by-side racing between these two. Do they make contact? No, they do not. As Woody goes off track, they almost loses the back end. Viva is going to have to take avoiding action. He's now trying it around the outside once again. They head to the left-hander as they're still going the wheel-to-wheel. Elbows out between these drivers. Angry Badger now will try it around the outside of Viva, but can't complete that move. Unbelievable stuff from these drivers. Stuff I just love to see. As now Rusted Bolt, as Tijani in chat says hello there. Hello to Tijani in chat. Good to see you here. In fact, I like when you come in to show support to these drivers. As Rusted Bolt will be getting past Arise now, making sure not to lose Pesci in front, as Declan will be clearing Gandalf, and the next driver to clear will be Destroyer Drag in front, who has now fallen out of that DRS to the drivers, and he will have 7 more laps to keep the drivers behind him away, which will be quite difficult in this one. He's going for the one-stop strategy, but will it work out for him? He's working out so far. You know, how much will he work out? Can he complete his race in the top 10, which will be exactly what we'll be going for. Merck now behind these 3 drivers. Oh, as Badger makes contact with Viva, the Mercedes of Merck also making contact with Angry Badger, but luckily for him, his wing, as you can see, is still clear, and the next target is going to be Viva. He's going to have to start pushing now to clear this car so they do not lose him too much time, as Parkour still out there and definitely has to go for the soft tires very soon. Her strategy is a very interesting one. When she goes on those soft tires, she's going to be pushing very, very hard on them and eat as much out as she can on those tires, as Viva now has lost the place to Angry Badger, as Merck now will be behind Woody and that will be his next target. Can he get to the DRS before they get to the final corner to be able to make the move before they get to turn 1? Parkour now has finally gone into the pit. When will be the drivers behind her start to clear her as a rise out there on the mediums, and he will be going to the pits very soon, has to go into the pits very soon. Declan, quickest lap, 123.2 for the kick salver of Declan, as Mr. P now up to P7, and as you can see, Parkour is dropping down. P7, P8, lost it to Hazer. Will Gandalf slide to Gandalf actually going into the pits now as she's coming out now? Will she be ahead of the Mercedes? It looks like she's going to be so, and her strategy has worked to perfection now. She's now going to be on those soft tires. Soft tires are stronger than the drivers behind, and she can now pull away from them. Can she catch up to Hazer though in front is the question, or will she just have to settle for P8 in this race? Hazer does have the 6-second penalty, so all she needs is 1 second on Hazer in front, who is on that 8 lap old mediums. So it looks like Parkour might just be able to recover at P7 in this race. Mr. P though, will he have enough to catch up to Drac? I do not think so. Drac's strategy might just have worked to perfection here, as he's on 11 laps on those tires. Definitely looks like it will work to perfection there, but he has Declan behind him. Declan definitely is going to clear the Alpine as they head to turn 1. And here we go now, heading out to the final corner, and with the DRS, easy move for him, as a rise will be going into him to the pit stops, as Declan now can take the final position on the podium. This is how the podium is going to end, but the question now is, who is going to win this race? With Rusted Bolt, as you can see, saving as much ERS as he can to set himself up for the race win with 5 laps to go in this one. We just have a 5-lapper lobby to go. Can Rusted Bolt get his first win of the season, as Merck will clear Woody now up to P8 he goes, and Parkour in front will be the next driver for him to clear, but she's on those soft tires, as you can see, she can use to push very hard now. Already caught up 1.1 seconds to Hazer in front. Hazer, who still can't catch up to Mr. P, as Parkour now will have 5 laps to catch up to them in front. She might be able to do so, as you can see, she might be able to do so, but Mr. P still 8 seconds away from Destroyer Drac, who just might be able to keep them away from him with 5 laps to go in this one. Mr. P will need to gain a second plus a lap on Destroyer in front. He does have the pace to keep them away, and if he does get the P4 in this one, it will be a very good drive from the Alpine, who decided to go for the 1-stop. The only driver who decided to go for a 1-stop, and the 1-stop is working to perfection for him. Vivaus is also just going to go for the 1-stop because he does have that 10-second penalty. So if he does go into the pits now, to see him finish last anyway, so he's just trying to see how much paces he can make just by staying on that 1-stop. But the 1-stop hasn't worked for the Aston Martin here, but will he work for the Alpine? The problem now is when he does get to the slow corners, that is when they'll start to gain on him, especially at this point of this race, when his tires are falling off even more and more now. 13 laps he's done on them, as Arise will get past his teammate. Woody now will overtake Mark once again, and will they have the pace to catch up to Parkour? Don't think they will, but they will continue to DRS themselves. Here we go. Arise now on those soft tires, and his strategy might just work to perfection. He decided to stay out a little bit longer on his mediums, and is now behind Merck and Woody, and he might be the one to end up getting P8 in this race, because he does have those softs. He's going to be pushing very hard for sure, but when it comes to the end of this race, we're definitely going to have to come and watch the top 2, because I know they will be mad if I don't come watch them at the end of this one. I'm just going to see us Arise. Looked for the move down the inside of the Mercedes. Nothing doing there. He's going to have to look for another opportunity later in this one, as Viva now has finally gone to pit for his final pit stop. He had to take that 10-second penalty off, which is a very unfortunate race of Viva, who's actually had quite a good season this season, but he's just had one of those races that has not been the best. But he will still come across the line to take as much points as possible. But Merck now in the Mercedes is going to be under pressure from Arise. Hazer has gone down the inside of Mr. P. Finally has gotten the move done on the Mercedes of Mr. P. They will be pushing out to make sure that Parkour doesn't catch up to them. With 3 laps to go, she has those soft Tyres. Does Hazer have the pace to catch up to Destroyer Drag in front? Is the question. Does it look like Destroyer Drag definitely is going to hold on to this one? 3 laps to go, 6-7 seconds ahead. I can bet my house on it that Destroyer Drag has that P4 sealed. He did go for that one stop, like I said at the start. If you go for that one stop, you're going to have to start on the softs and take them as long as possible, which he did. He took them to lap 13, I believe. 13, 14, so as long as possible. So when you go on the mediums, you can also stretch the mediums as long as, possibly so, as Woody the birthday boy makes a mistake. He's going to be losing places now. 3-second penalty for Merck, and Advice has a 3-second penalty too now. So Merck is going to have to finish ahead of him on track if he wants that P8 in this race. Their own race is coming to a boiling point now. Pesci has taken the lead of this race with 3 laps to go. Destroyer Drag in a position to keep that P4. Declan, his P3 is already set in this one, as we're setting up to the final fights of this race. Under pressure, the Mercedes from 2 Ferraris behind him, as Mr. P now has taken that place back from Hazer. As these two continue to fight, Destroyer Drag is absolutely loving it in front, as Arise has taken the place from Merck. Up to P8 he goes. Merck will have to think about the strategy here. Will he stick behind Arise and try to recharge as much as he can to take the place on the final lap of this one? Parkour still pushing very hard here. 3.8 seconds she is now behind Hazer and Mr. P in front. She will finish a definite P6 in this one. But the question is, can she catch up to Mr. P? Can she get ahead of Mr. P? It will be quite difficult, but she's showing that she does have that pace. The decision to move up Parkour to tier 1 has probably been the best decision by the admins this week, because imagine the driver with this pace racing in tier 2. She will have absolutely destroyed the competition, because as you can see here, the reserves from tier 2: Angry Badger, Woody, Viking, Fox, Gandalf. They are exactly where you expect them to be, getting points for their team, but not really running in front. But Destroyer Drag and Parkour, the 2 drivers that were moved up, are exactly where we do expect them to be, as they're now on the penultimate lap of this one. Hazer and Mr. P are fighting. Mr. P is going for the very, very strong defense here. Hazer will switch to the outside, will take that place from Mr. P, but as you can see, right behind is Parkour. She's catching up to them even more and more as they squabble up in front. He definitely will be finishing ahead of Hazer because he has those penalties, but they will be starting the final lap of this one. We're going to now stick with the race leaders, like we said we're going to do this one. Let's head down to Wizard Rex. Not close enough to make the move on Viking Fox, but back to the race leaders of this one, Pesci and Rusted Bolt. Rusted Bolt will be looking for that race win. Pesci has saved enough ERS to defend from him. It's going to be the final opportunity for the Visa RB to get that win that he definitely has been looking for all season. A win that will help his championship fights against the drivers all around him, likes of Viva and the rest of them. And we'll see exactly what he would do. And here we go on the final lap of this one. Rusted Bolt is definitely going to be going for the move. Pesci will defend it, use as much ERS to keep Rusted Bolt behind, but he takes the lead of this race. Pesci now will have few more corners to try and take back that lead. Rusted Bolt, all you have to do now is defend from the championship leader. No pressure at all, as Mr. P now right behind Hazer and is going to take that move, make that move on the outside. Hazer with a little bit of a dangerous movement from the Mercedes, but he will clear Hazer. Up to P5 he goes. Parkour doesn't have the pace to catch up to them again. She's now lost time on those tires, but Pesci has taken the place on Rusted Bolt on the inside. He did on that corner, and Pesci now has taken back the lead of this race. It doesn't look like Rusted Bolt can take the win here. He might have made a mistake, or Pesci might have gone for the move, but there you go. The championship leader shows why he is the championship leader. Mr. P and Hayes are still squabbling behind, but I'm going to stick with these drivers in front. I'm going to stick with our race leader. I'm going to stick with our championship leader. He is going to extend his lead at the top. He's been immaculate this season. He's been unbeatable this season. And when he comes out of the final corner, it's going to be another win for Pesci. It's going to be another win for the Williams outfit. He celebrates He goes close to the wall, and when he crosses the line, he wins. And Qatar, Rusted Bolt is going to have to settle for P2 in a strong race here. Declan will get back at P3. A very good recovery and a very strong race for Destroyer Drag as he went for the one-stop strategy, a strategy that has worked to perfection for him. P4 for Destroyer Drag. Hazer will cross the line in P5, but because of that penalties, will drop down to P6. P7 behind Parkour as Mr. P takes P5. Hazer will take P7. Merck with a good recovery, getting past the rise, will take P8. Angry Badger will get past his teammate in P9. Gandalf is going to take P11. Woody in P12, and Viking Fox will take that place from Woody because he didn't have that penalty in P12, and Woody will slide to P13. Wizard Rex takes P13 actually as Woody goes down to P14. And there you go, Pesci did it once again. I actually missed with the move that Pesci did. I don't know if he made a move or Rusted Bolt made a mistake, but there was just so much happening at the back. But Pesci is your race winner once again. There you go, standing at the top of the podium. We did think Rusted Bolt had that win after making a move heading to turn 1, but Pesci still had that pace. Made the move on the inside as he headed to turn 7, I believe. And there you go, the Williams winning again. And we all know the champagne is going to taste the best in the Williams Cup. Pesci wins the Qatar Grand Prix. A very expected podium, but my driver of the day will be Declan. What a drive from him. From the start of the race, from the get-go, he was wasting no time whatsoever. From P15 to P3 and the fastest lap of the race. He gets it. And he does a very good job there. That is your final race order. Let's go to the race director here. So incidents to make sure that we get as much as possible. And there you go. Everything got in. That was a good one there. A great win from Pesci once again, who has one hand. I often say one and a half hands on the championship. I don't see anyone taking it from him here. He has extended his lead once again. No one is taking it from him here. Now it's just to drive to the end, enjoy his race to the end. With a few races to go, even if he DNFs the last 2 races, that is going to be, and let's say championship contender Hazer gets race wins every time, that is just going to be 140 points. So all Pesci has to do is finish the next 3 races, no matter where he finishes. Even if Hazer wins all the races and gets all the pole positions, Pesci will be your champion. In a very good race here, Qatar. I've been Willie Fernandez. We have been UFRL. Thank you for tuning in. Good night and goodbye.